Tesla sold only 3,000 electric vehicles in China in January. At least that's what the naysayers are claiming. Therefore, it means that this year, Tesla are doomed. The naysayers are pointing to the fact that Tesla delivered 14,000 Tesla Model 3s last year in January and only 3,000 in China this year, meaning Tesla's demand is falling off a cliff. Is this actually true though? Let's look at the facts and find out truth from fiction. Hello my friends and welcome to the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. You're watching the YouTube channel that made about 1,000 videos over the last 7 months, I believe. Make sure you check out some of those. And welcome to all the new subscribers as well. Welcome back to everyone else. Now, thank you for supporting the channel on Patreon. Some of you support the channel. It makes a huge difference to me being able to create these videos for you. I'll put a link in the description below to our Patreon account. So is it true? Are Tesla facing a demand cliff? As has been reported by the media many times, by the naysayers. It's all over YouTube right now. It's all over comment sections and forums. Tesla's China demand is falling off a cliff. Now, why does this matter? Well, obviously, people will just discount the fact that China makes up more than 50% of world's global EV sales right now. Yeah, that's pretty significant. So if this report was true, then yes, I would say Tesla are in trouble. And it is true that Tesla only delivered 3,000 Tesla Model 3s in China in January, which is a very stark contrast to the 14,000 they delivered last January in 2021. So is this an issue? Well, remember, Tesla builds electric cars in China that they then ship around the world. For example, here in Australia, all the Tesla Model 3 vehicles we get, every single one, come directly from Tesla's factory in Shanghai. So if that's the case, let's have a look and see if there are probable demand issues here in Australia. That will give us a good idea on whether or not this demand problem is real, right? Makes sense. Well, Paul Marrick, who works at Car Expert here in Australia, said that escalated quickly. Buyers wanting to get their hands on a Tesla Model 3 variant, all variants, now have to wait up to 7 months here in Australia while the company catches up on outstanding orders. The latest development builds on the 20-week wait previously reported for Australian orders of the Model 3 sedan, which is built in China for the local market. Although you'll have to wait, Model 3 orders are still open. Estimated wait times have, however, been removed for the Model S sedan and the Model X SUV. The updated versions of which are now expected to arrive in Australia not until 2023 and 2024 respectively, as Tesla is pushing to meet global demand. The Model Y was originally expected to go on sale here in Australia in 2021. And I personally was excited for that. I was hoping to be able to potentially purchase one this year. Now, what I'm hearing is that evaluation vehicles were last year reportedly shipped to Australia for certification. But that hasn't materialized either. Why? Well, apparently Tesla can't make enough Tesla Model Y vehicles, even though they've ramped up development, almost doubled their production rates at Shanghai within the last 3 to 4 months. But still, we don't have any here at all. Now, Car Expert said this: Tesla had previously appeared to be immune to the semiconductor crunch hitting car makers, but it now appears to be catching up with the electric car manufacturer. Is this true? Well, Tesla did produce 60,000 vehicles in January, the second worst month of the year historically for China, which I think was a pretty good number. That would put their annual production on track for 720,000 EVs from one single factory in China, except for the fact that they're actually installing a second production line in the factory in Shanghai. Now, what is that second production line for? If Tesla doesn't have enough demand for the Tesla Model 3 in China and in many countries around the world where they ship the Model 3, well, obviously I've just shown you that that's not the case here in Australia, that we can't get enough for 7 months or longer. However, if Tesla does have a potential Model 3 issue, why is it that they are installing a second production line for Tesla Model 3 at the factory in Shanghai? That doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. Now, here's an interesting comment to the Car Expert report citing the 7-month plus wait delays on the Model 3 here. Chinese built Model 3 here in Australia. George said, this is good for their Australian competitors. One reason Tesla has been so dominant is that they have been unrestricted in their supply. You could order one and get one within a few weeks. This gives prospective customers much more reason to shop around. However, the key problem with that statement is that while every Tesla competitor here in Australia, such as Hyundai, Kia, Volvo, etc., are all sold out for this entire year. So this is what I predict will happen. Tesla will complete their production line, their additional production line in Shanghai. As a result, they'll be able to produce potentially twice as many Model 3s. That will mean they'll be able to continue to flood the market, not literally, but in comparison to their competitors and the meager number of EVs their competitors are producing and getting to the market, especially here in Australia. And what that means is that if you want a decent electric car here in Australia and in many, many other countries around the world, you'll have no choice but to buy a Tesla. Now, speaking of Tesla Model 3s being built in China, what about the Tesla Model Y? Well, that was the second best-selling new energy vehicle in China in January, but it was the best-selling electric vehicle, period, in China, even though Tesla actually exported the majority of their cars in January. The Model Y sold 16,400 units, well, 16,400 were delivered in January in China. That was second only to BYD's plug-in hybrid Song, which BYD was able to deliver 21,000 in January. Now, the China Passenger Car Association announced yesterday that total sales and exports of Tesla's China-made vehicles and breakdown data is available for the Model 3 and Model Y in China. Model Y sales in China were 16,360, up 900% from 1,641 units in January of last year. That means the Model Y was the best-selling EV in China in January. The Model Y ranked 13th, period, across all SUV sales in the country. And Great Wall Motors' Haval H6 remained the best-selling SUV with 33,320 units sold in January. By the way, Great Wall Motor, they are planning aggressive electrification of their vehicles. They want to displace legacy auto in China just like every other Chinese car company plans on doing over the next decade. Tesla Model 3 in China, only 2,998 were delivered because the rest of them were shipped out all around the world. Still, the world can't get enough. Tesla delivered 60,000 Chinese-made vehicles in January. That's an increase of 286.5% year on year. That's insane. Of those vehicles, 40,500 were exported, second only to the 40,666 units that they exported last October. So that's the second highest export month in the history of Tesla's factory in China. Now, speaking of the Chinese SUV market, in China's new energy SUV sales rankings for January, Li Auto came in third behind the Tesla Model Y with the Li One, that's a plug-in hybrid. They sold 12,268. Next was the NIO ES6, that's a fully electric vehicle. NIO delivered 5,247. And next was one of my favorite vehicles, the Zeekr 001. Very, very cool car. They delivered 3,530 of those. Now, that vehicle was made by Geely. I'll put a link in the description below to the video I made about the Zeekr 001. If you don't know what this car is, you should check it out because that vehicle will be available in many countries all around the world because Zeekr, obviously Geely company, Geely own Volvo and Polestar. Well, they plan on selling those in the US, Canada, Europe, Australia, a bunch of different markets. When that will happen, I don't know because there's just way too much demand for those right now, but it will eventually happen. And honestly, if I could get a Zeekr 001, I would have to very strongly consider it. Now, I think I've provided some pretty good evidence, pretty good proof for the fact that Tesla doesn't have a demand cliff. These idiots making these comments all over the internet, all over the forums, all over everywhere, just don't like facts. They like feelings, they like emotions. If they feel strongly emotional against the business, they'll say anything they can to basically con the other sheep who read their comments into believing them. And when I say con the other sheep who believe their comments into believing them, I mean that literally, because when you see these comments, there's a lot of likes on them, a lot, not many dislikes. So people are reading them and taking these comments as gospel. So what I suggest for these people is rather than looking stupid, just Google it. Look for the facts. Facts will tell you the truth.